We're back once again for the Master Channel Podcast. I am DJ Widebody.
And I am CX the producer.
And this is the Master Channel Podcast. We talk about the ins and outs of this hip-hop thing, both theoretically and technically. That's right. Season 2, episode number 8. We got a special one for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, from the great state of North Carolina, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Big Stacks, a.k.a. the Professor. What's going on, Stacks?
Oh, I'm chilling, man. Just sitting out here in the lab, man. Just trying to get some work in. What's up with y'all?
Ain't nothing. What's up, Stacks? How you doing, bro?
Just chilling, man. Just chilling. Long weekend, but hey, it's all good.
Glad to finally have you on, my brother. Big Stacks. That's right, man. It's newly getting acquainted with the new area, man. Finally got you on. This is the Master Channel Podcast, man. We just sit and have a conversation. We talk about this hip hop thing, man, and we're gonna start, man. We want you to, man, just take us back, man. What got you into production? Where did it all start, man? Take us back on that journey, man.
Wow, I started out really as a musician. So my first thing was drums. I was like a 5-year-old, well, before 5 years old, beating on cans and pots and stuff. So my folks bought me a drum set.
Dang.
So I played that for a bunch of years to about maybe my early teenage years. And then, really enough, my mom kind of rearranged my room and got all this extra furniture and crap. I had to get rid of my drums. So from there, I transitioned over to the electronic side. I was DJing, and then from DJing, I moved over to drum machines and then production. I was like the dude that did all the talent show beats for the wannabe rappers.
Wow.
They'd come to my crib, go by Pat's crib, he got the drum machine. So that's how I got started.
Wow. It's very. I mean, it's. I ain't gonna say it's rare, but from our generation, when we were in school, we didn't have to, but most of us played some type of instrument. Not all of us stuck with it, but we played something. I'm talking for the cast that's in their 40s. You know what I'm saying? Most of us played an instrument somehow. And you kind of went the whole full circle. You played the instrument, you DJ'd, and you do production.
Yep. And I collected records at that period too when I was starting to drum. So I collected records before I even got into, producing beats and sampling and all that. So I had a collection before I even started.
Right.
That was weird too.
So let me ask you this. Say you did all of that, right? What was your first piece of gear?
My first kind of so-called piece of gear really was, and it's a weird one. I don't know if you heard this one. It's the Sonic drums. So that I don't know if I count that or not.
Wow.
I remember those.
Which got stolen at a party. That's a long story. That dumbass took him to a party. But my real, main kind of professional piece of equipment was the Korg DDM 110 drum machine, which I bought with my own money, man.
How much was that thing going?
Gray? You talking about the gray jump?
Well, the brown one.
The gray. Yeah.
Yep.
How much did that run you?
I remember that.
It's like 300 something, but like $350. And I'm literally putting tip cash on the table, counting it out to pay for it. I was like, I was working for tips.
Damn. In there.
I have a checking account.
That's what's up, man.
The first piece.
Hanging out for a while, man. So what? So let me ask you, man. For those who don't know, not only is Stacks, musician, and he does his music thing, but he also is a educator, college professor, man. Tell us a little bit about how you got into that, man. How do you how does that and the music kind of intertwine?
I couldn't get signed, man. I was sending demos. I'm back in that era when you could send tapes. So I was like in the mid-late 80s sending demo tapes to all the the major labels. I had a few connects too, and none of that got signed. And so it was one of those things where I was already in college, and it's like, man, I gotta go with some plan B. Music is may not be my main money maker. So ended up going on to finish undergrad and just said, hey, I'll go on and do a doctorate.
Wow.
And then I started doing teaching and research in the doctoral program and really liked the research part and teaching. So I'm like, hey, I'll go into this, the academic side versus going to the practice side. So I liked it. You get that impact on young lives.
Right.
That resonated with me, having an impact on people. But you asked about how they link. I think they link because to be a researcher, you have to be creative. And I think that creative energy that comes from making music helps kind of come up with ideas, put thoughts together, writing, even that has an artistic aspect of it. Because one thing, a little known fact people don't know, a lot of professors usually have some kind of artistic lean, at least the researchers I know. I know some that play guitar, they paint. So there's a fine line between the research realm and the creative realm. And I think both art and being a scientist require creativity. So I think that's the link.
Nice.
You're absolutely right about that because if you think about it and go through history, most top intellects play the instrument. You know what I'm saying? Most top intellects play the instrument. I guess that's part of keeping their mind fascinated.
And the skill sets are the same too. The same discipline it takes to learn your instrument and practice rudiments on the drums. You got to sit there and read research articles and get a PhD.
Yeah,
hours and hours and hours at a time on your own, and solitary doing that. So there's a certain level of discipline required for both. So I think that's another link between them too. There's a discipline process that's just difficult.
Let me ask you this: so you being, do any of the two worlds? I mean, I understand with the creative thing. Do you find that other people, as far as your, the genre of music that you make, do you have anyone else in, like, say, in your professional circles that kind of do the same thing? Maybe not the same genre, but around same type of production and the DJing and all that good stuff, the drums and all that. Because
I know a few cats, that produce, and some of them play in bands, and I know a few DJs. I mean, there are a bunch of people that kind of moonlight between being academic and doing like the musical realm. So
right.
I know a few of those cats. I mean, I know one here where I am in Philly that has like a podcast, does music and stuff, and so there's a lot of that out there. There's another cat I know now. I think it's Malik. His name, same thing. I think he's like a finishing up doctoral student, but he has musical lean. I think he rhymes or something. So there's a few cats in there, kind of mass, kind of doing moonlighting as musicians and MCs and stuff like that.
Right. Well, that's what's up, man. Let me ask you this. I know that you're a drum guy, man, and we've had conversations in the past. I never asked you, man. Give me your top 5 producers, man, dead or alive.
Wow, that's a good question. It depends on. That's a tough one. So I guess I got to go. Well, I guess I'll go with my favorites. Because my mentors or influences aren't necessarily my favorites in terms of overall. So I go with probably Pete Rock. That's a tough one. Jay Dilla, of course. That's a hard one. I like
Ninth Wonder.
No. Premier definitely. Premier. I gotta go with I want to say Large Professor. I'll go with Q-Tip. I like Q-Tip a lot. Q-Tip, man, his stuff is amazing. And then I'll say, tell you who I like a lot too, Buck Wild, man. Buck Wild's my dude too. I don't think he get enough. Props. That dude's amazing. Man.
Definitely not.
Killing the '90s, man. So, but that's just for now. I could say several more. I mean, I could throw the Beat Nuts in there, Diamond.
Another one.
Latif, the Last Sentence of Funk. I think he doesn't get a lot of props. He got some sick beats out there. Soul Controller. Come on. T-Ray, that's another one that didn't get a lot of credit. He was dope. Nick Wiz. Man, there's a bunch of. And then newer cats. I like rock stuff is nice. Rock Marciano. I like. What's my man? Oh man. Derringer. Derringer's sick too.
Oh yeah.
It's Alexa.
Yeah.
Good grief, man. Static Selectors does some dope stuff. So, but those are my first 5 are the ones I really kind of resonate with me. But those other dudes, there's so many dope ones. Those are the main ones.
Right.
I got to say.
I knew you were gonna go with the underrated cats, because
Yeah.
And I got to big up Sed G, Marley Marl, those cat. Those are my mentors. People like that. 45 King, Mantronic was a big influence. Prince Paul, Prince Paul, and I'm missing one. Africa from the Jungle Brothers. Big influence on my multi-tracking and stuff like that, like the layering and putting samples in and out, different layers. That was a big him and Prince Paul had a big influence on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
You said your influences. Now let me ask you something. What as those influences have they kind of like shaped your style, or you already kind of had a style already in place and you just look to those to enhance it?
Yeah, I think I had a style at first. I think from the musical training, so I kind of liked musical stuff anyway, melodic stuff just in general, and then just how I did it. Like for example, Mantronic just made me want to produce. He's probably the biggest first influence. I want to make beats. I love what he's doing.
Me too.
And yeah, it's like, man, that was crazy. And then probably drums too is a big influence. And then Marley Marl, same things. He influenced me with the drum sampling, just sampling drum sounds. And he's kind of innovative in that respect. And then 45 King, I'd say, no, before that even, it'd be Sed G was the drums. Man, the drums weren't hitting like that. Sed G is the reason why I'm really heavy on drums in terms of like making them pump in the mix. Because, man, he was like layering 2 and 3 samples and breaks sometimes. It's like, man, you kidding me? 45 King, I think, would be his influence with the horns. I like the horn samples. It wasn't P. Yeah. Everybody gives that credit to P. That 45 King was the horn cat. People don't give him credit. And then Africa was just the arranger, man. His arrangements were just so intricate. All these extra stuff layering in and out. Like, man, I never heard rap music. Like, it was usually just boom, kick, and a sound coming in and out, like a stab. Yeah, he had these like melodic lines coming in and out. It was crazy. And then Prince Paul broadened my sampling. He moved me past Kool and the Gang and James Brown. Like, man, you can sample all this other stuff. And I had a lot of different styles of music, but I was kind of sticking to the script, doing the funk soul stuff.
Right.
Paul was big influence on just broadening my sampling palette. Now, nothing's off limits now in terms of sampling.
Nice. So, I mean, with all the sampling, so you've been around for grip, man. You experience a lot of different generations of music. Only on top of that is you are also an avid record collector, man. How many records you currently got right now? Just ballpark figure.
Ooh, probably about 15,000, something like that. Maybe.
For those of you tell your story, we went out to San Francisco a couple years ago. I seen Stacks probably get the same amount of records I got in about 2 hours and send them home. Talking FedEx boxes. You couldn't it wasn't going on a plane. So yeah, man, 15,000. That's just probably a ballpark, man. That's crazy. What are your thoughts on you witnessed the golden age and actually the stuff today, man? What are your thoughts on the evolution of hip hop, man? How do you feel about the direction that it's went?
Well, it depends on what perspective you look at. The underground stuff is still pumping strong. They're still doing some great innovating at that level. I mean, you're hearing some amazing stuff on the underground stuff,
especially in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's been crazy. On the popular side is where it's really devolved. I mean, it's just the musical content's not there anymore, and I think a big part of it is kind of socio-structural, where they eliminated music programs in the 80s and the 90s, and so the musicianship is kind of waning a little bit, I think. Mm-hmm. Two, parents got rid of CDs in the mid 80s, so they're not right. They didn't hear the music of their parents as much as our generation did, and so that's not influencing their musical choices, and so sampling's not even a thing for a lot of them. And so I think it's just a lack of technical training for some of them, and it's not to put them down. They just haven't been exposed. It's an exposure issue. Right. I was exposed. I mean, I played in orchestra, so that's going to inform how I arrange even like rap music. That having different layers, different instrument choices, but having that experience affect just it needs a string sample. I mean, you wouldn't think to do that if you never heard that kind of music.
Right.
So I think it's that the underground's doing great, but the popular stuff that's out there being pushed by the powers that be is really kind of, I hate to say it, dumbed down a little bit because of just the lack of training and just music programs that's going. I remember going seeing the Franklin Township band. They were having like a fundraiser a few years ago. And the funny thing is, I mean, the band was like 70 people. Like, what?
That's a football rival right there.
Remember our high school band was like 300, almost 400 people.
Wow. Y'all got down there, yo. We didn't do marching bands. We didn't do marching bands like y'all do down in Southwood, man. No way.
When I was in high school, you could hear the band like 5-6 miles away. They were so loud. I mean, the high school was like 5-6 miles from my house. You could hear them. They were that loud. But it was just sad to see that pitiful sized band, man. I mean, our flag squad was like 100 people. The flag girls.
So
crazy.
Wow.
So, that's what it is, I think, part of it.
So let me ask you this. So you said underground is doing good as well. I mean, I kind of agree with you.
Me too.
I kind of agree with you. But let me say this. Right now, besides, let me say before now, what was your weapon of choice musically? Besides the drums, besides the turntables, production-wise?
Oh man, I used to use you gonna make me mention the Roland S50. My early demos on the Roland S50, and then later on I used the MPC 3000 in my man Rodney's studio. That was in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I got the ASR. So I was ASR, but that S50 was my joint for years. I mean, that was some good work on that, I thought. But so yeah, I loved it. But if we would have really want to go back, my home production stuff, I was using like Casio SK5s, man. I mean, it was low budget, man. I was doing pre-production with that stuff and then take it to the studio before I got major equipment. So yeah, I got hundreds of tapes of just SK5 beats, man. Just playing two of them at the same time, triggering them with your finger. I mean, you couldn't sequence. And just push the buttons. So,
man.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
So you were using the Roland joint. That's the one with the VGA out on it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen those back in the day in the studios. I think Howard T, used to use that shit.
Yep, sure did. Yep. That was a good unit. I think the first one I was using was a rack unit. So he had
it was right. Yeah,
he had a rack unit. Yep, it was tight too. Yep, I liked it.
Yeah. I think Howard did all of Chubb Rock and all them joints on using that.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good machine. It was state of the art at the time, and I think that was pre ASR 10. That was before that era.
Waited for that.
Floppy drive on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a rack joint. It looked like a half. It was a half rack. I think it was a half rack. It wasn't even a whole rack.
Right. It wasn't big.
Yeah, it was half a rack.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Had good sampling time too, actually.
Matter of fact, Chubb Rock even said it. He said put it in the D50, told the S50, something like that on one of his albums.
Yep.
That's my man, Chubb Rock.
Yep.
I like this voice.
great delivery. Yeah, right.
Yeah, straight up. You get away with that, man.
Chubb Rock was a smart dude. He went to college at the age 16.
Wow.
He went to Brown University.
Damn.
Could have been he was pre-med. Man.
That's crazy. Do you feel, I remember a time where, back, I had a Bluetooth Live Crew tape. This had to be 88, 89. I don't know where I got the tape from. I'm playing it. I just remember my parents like, man, turn that stuff off. They just, how it was with the generation. So I kind of like, when I hear some stuff today, as far as the young kids out there with the production and with the rapping, singing, whatever they're doing. And I'm like, things evolve. What do you kind of like, do you get into is there some, how can I put this? Is any young popular type music, commercial music, do you do you listen to that? Or can you listen to it? Or have you listened to it? And are you able to, you know, turn on and keep your radio on when you?
I hear it. I mean, I catch it mainly like maybe on TV here and there. I really don't listen to radio much. No, it doesn't resonate with me. I mean, I'll be honest with you. People call me old stodgy. Cool. It's just not funky. I mean, I don't find today's music that funky. I mean, I just don't. I don't like it. I'll be honest with you. So I don't really listen to those new cats that much. And I've tried. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll listen to it, but it's just, it doesn't move me at a like visceral kind of soul level, because it just doesn't touch my sensibilities. I mean, I like funky music. I guess it's one for the drummer.
I feel the funk in the soul is not in the music
funk,
anymore, man.
Yeah, I feel the same. And disclaimer, we're not hating on what they're doing. It's just that the music don't move us. You know what I'm saying?
Me. It don't make me bop my head. It's just like, okay, I mean, that sounds good. I mean, I'm lukewarm to it, I guess would be the best way to put it. It's not that, this is horrible. It doesn't. It's not like when I heard Bucktown the first time. I had to call my man, yo, Kev, turn on Rap City, man. I don't get that vibe from it. It's just it's just blasé. Say it.
Well said, man. I got you. Yeah, like, they gonna do their things evolve, man, and they still like I feel like that you guys are saying the last couple of years, man, with the underground stuff, it's been real strong, and I just think it's gonna get stronger. And people are figuring out ways, just people steadily dropping stuff, man. People collaborating, and relationships are better. You don't hear a lot of beef like it used to be. People now able to work together and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's one tip I'm on, man. Straight up.
I mean, we get ostracized for saying if we don't like it.
Oh, yeah, you ain't lying. Yeah. I mean, and I don't think, some people sometimes when you give your honest opinion or something, it's like, especially on the internet, man, it's like if we can agree to disagree on things. People, if you're not following the wave, it's like you're wrong, and like it's like, man, like what happened to people agreeing to disagree with stuff? You know what I'm saying? I came a long way with this. I was kind of upset because I figured, 20 years ago, I had envisioned how hip hop was going to be 20 years ago. Obviously, it's a lot different than from when we came up. And I was going back to where I used to play the music in my room, and my mom and dad would be like, "What is that stuff, man?" So I don't want to be that guy. But on the same
exactly. Yeah. But it just don't, and I try, man, because I want, because see, that's the thing that's tough about aging a little bit, man. I used to be a hip dude, always was up on the latest stuff. I was a white label dude. I had the records before everybody else had them, like record pools and stuff. So it's weird to not be aware, man.
Can you explain white label to the audience?
And not give a shit. Oh, white labels are the records that didn't have any cover art or anything. They were just exclusive records, one-offs that were pressed locally. And a lot of times back in the day, record pools were where labels shared the early copies or the promotional versions of records before they broke, nationally. So the DJs would play these exclusive white labels, and it would break new records. And so I was in record pools and stuff like that. So I was always a step ahead in terms of what music was out. And it's weird now at this age to not have a damn clue, man. Right. So I try to be aware. I try to hear it, and it just doesn't move me. It's like, man, it's weird being that, get off my lawn older dude, but I'm becoming that guy. And I don't, like my body said, I try to fight it and be, and try to be open, and I listen, but it's just, they don't present anything that moves me.
I try to be the same way, man. Just like Wildbody said, like, try not to be that dude, but this is something we got to think about, man. And I'm not saying that our era was the best. It's not a debate. I'm not debating that. We came up in an era where as though when we were making music, we were using the music that our parents listened to. So eventually they fell in line and started to like our music because of the samples we were using.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it was always a connection between the two at first. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't see the connection with us and them. You know what I'm saying? like musically, how are they using something pulled from us with them? I don't hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Not even
It's like
close.
totally different
Way
than anything
different.
we've done.
Yep.
There's no connection at all, right? Our stuff. I mean, I was grabbing my pops records and sampling some of them sometimes and stuff. And he'd even recognize some of the samples because he was into music. So yeah, we he even vibed to some of it. So yeah, there is that connection. I mean, and even through the collecting, but now it's just their stuff is just like alien almost. Like it didn't progress directly from the stuff we made and listened to. It's like, where did that come from?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say it's foundational. It doesn't have a foundation, but we had like CX was saying, we did a lot of our stuff was from what our parents, and we recreated it and made it our own. But yeah, that's a great point, man. It's like that's just, the 808 maybe, and I do. You know what? I am starting to hear a lot of old '90s like kind of screwed up R&B that they'll take in every once in a while. But that's it.
That's
That's
true.
it.
Yeah, they'll sample some of that. That's true.
But that's very, very far in between. And then the way that, I don't know, it's just like it doesn't have that the funk and the soul that I thought that drove hip hop. I always felt there was a soul in it, man. I figured that you have to add that element just about anything, even if you're doing house or jazz. Is a kind of a soul kind of element to it, man. Even it's in blues and I can go on and on, man. But that's
You know why they'll grab R&B? Because the R&B was slower.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
and hip hop in the '90s was way faster than what they were used to rapping to.
yep,
Yep.
right.
And they lack exposure to jazz too, which
Yeah.
and funk, which gave rise to syncopation in rap beats, right? Because if you never notice, the beats are real straight. There's no syncopation. It's not that anymore. It's just straight. And that came from the funk records. I mean, funk records, James Brown, the meters, all that kind of stuff. It's syncopated, and off beats and stuff. But it made it funky. Boom, boom. You don't hear that anymore. It's just these really straight kind of tight beats. But that's what we listened to. We grew up listening to our parents' records with that, and jazz same way. So,
Right. What do you I know you deal with a lot of the youth, being a professor and all. Do you feel like a lot of that's with the kids these days? Because all I hear is these kids are antisocial, man. All they need is attention. And do you see a lot of that, like as far as how these millennials are, as they call them?
yeah, they're very technologically savvy, but
Very,
they're not adaptive in a sense in terms of like the social realm, like how building relationships, kind of going into spheres that they've not gone in previously. They're kind of shy toward that sort of thing, which is weird to me. That it's almost they've become conforming in a way that they. Like I've heard young people now, they'll graduate from school and want to stay at home. Like, man, really? Or stay around where they're from. Like, now we want to go out in the way. We couldn't wait to get out of Dodge. But now they're like, nah, I want to be where I'm familiar. And I think it may have been some of the helicopter parenting and coddling now. They don't want to leave the cocoon.
Yeah.
We wanted to run away fast as possible with our strict ass parents. Like, I can't wait to get a million miles away from y'all, man. Do what I want to do.
Count down to 18. Man.
Yeah, in line. Like, I'm out.
Also you got to realize a lot of these kids, they were born with the internet.
Yeah. You got a good point there.
You feel what I'm saying? They were born with the internet. So, and social media has the internet has made the world smaller, of course, but it also has made the world have less contact with each other physically.
Yep. And it removed the filter from music too, and I think that's a big part of why you hear so much stuff that's like,
Speak on
because
that.
you had to get signed back in the day to be heard on a broad scale. Now, a kid with a laptop and some music software can post it right online, and there's no filter in terms of quality. They can just put out some utter doo-doo, and it's out there. Versus, you had to get signed and get a deal to get any kind of broad exposure outside your town.
That's crazy you say that. So, I mean, you hear a lot of these people that get signed. You gotta basically have a following. Say I, played the chopsticks or something. I was a goofy some gun sitting there, and I'm making music with chopstick, and it just sounds horrible. If I got 1 million subscribers, this video I did with these chopsticks, 3 million views, and I got a string of them, I could possibly get signed because I'm bringing people to the table to actually stream and I know hard copy, buying hard copies aren't that popular anymore, but that's how that kind of, I'm exaggerating, but that's just, what can you do?
You know what they call those?
What's up?
Those people? Influencers.
Yep.
Like if you're an influencer, on YouTube or something like that, you're a person who has a video of 2 million, 3 million, and you got like 200,000-300,000 subscribers. You're an influencer. Then companies will come to you and ask you, hey, can you demo a product or this, that, and other? Because they don't really care. Musically, they don't really care about what the artist sound like. They just looking at, what his views look like, what his subscribers look like. And if he has that, it's like if we had the bots to cook some stats, we would get signed. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Advertisements, all that shit.
Yep. And no filter. There's no A&R person. They're not checking out a tape. They're not requiring you to be able to do shows, because usually they might want a tape of your show and all. There were a lot of layers to getting signed back in the day and getting your stuff out there, which kind of gave a sort of a quality control to what did get exposed to the masses. Now it's just any guy in a bedroom with a computer and some music software can put anything out with no quality filter at all.
And I can't knock these millennials. They know, my daughter knows PowerPoint like she went to school for it. Like we didn't, have that stuff in school. I mean, but they're very savvy, so I ain't mad. They definitely gotta, as far as the internet marketing and putting their stuff out, I give it to them.
Yep.
Man, they had goddamn brother typewriters and
Texas Instruments. Word processors.
Yeah, they had it. They didn't have no Commodore and shit like
word
that.
processors.
Commodore and Texas Instrument computers.
Right,
man.
right.
That shit was monochrome as hell.
Them damn Tandies. Y'all remember them Tandies?
Yeah, Doc Mason printers, man.
Who do you think made Tandy? Who do you think made Tandy? Wide body? Texas Instruments.
Oh, for real?
Yep.
Yeah.
We had one of them in every classroom. This shit was
garbage, man.
The Dot Matrix printers.
Killing in schools, man.
Right. Calculators, the damn. Wow, man. But it's things always everything always fizzles out, man, with time. So and I'm just a big fan of substance. That's all. I think it could be done in taste. So that's always been my thing.
My thing is always an even playing field. That's
right,
always
right.
my biggest thing. An even playing field, because it used to be so diverse musically.
Yep.
Now it's like it's only one thing, mainly out there, and it's like that shouldn't be the face of what many people have fought and died for. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There's no respect to the previous history of a culture either. That's probably what upsets me most about that this current generation, is that there's no respect for the architects that built the culture, and forgetting them is going to be to the demise of the art overall. It's like, you can't forget where it came from.
Right. That's with anything, man. I mean, you gotta know the history of it, man, and go from there.
I don't know.
Remember, it was cool to be different. We always try to be different, and now it's like everything's got to be. It's like robotic to a sense, and not, sorry about that. Not just with the music, man. It's with a lot of stuff, man.
Mm-hmm. Do the same old thing and follow what heard. I mean, individuality is just being squeezed out of music altogether. It's just. I mean, and don't get me wrong, there was always a hint of that on the popular realm, but still there was always a robust underground that had so much variety on their own thing. Yeah, it's sad to not be influenced by anything. It's weird. I would love to be inspired by some music. I mean, maybe some of the underground stuff I hear, but a lot of it's just personal inspiration. It's not anything that where you heard a beat like, I had to go back and make beats. I mean, I remember hearing that all the time back in the day. Like, hear a new song and you want to go make some music. Now it's like you gotta that inspiration has to come from within.
Right.
Not like getting you hyped, to do something.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's so. Now CX is gonna give you. We do this thing every single podcast. It's the $10,000 question. I'll let CX explain that to you. We're gonna go through it, brother.
Oh, here we go, Mr. McKay. You have won a $10,000 credit card with the GC Guitar Center. Now, stipulations of this deal consist of you have to spend the $10,000 in Guitar Center. You cannot buy this stuff and then take it back and get the money. You have to buy it, and that's it. So, run down a list of what you need. Wide Body will add it up with the calculator, and we'll give you an update on your purchases. So let's go.
Now, the only question I have is, does it have to be available? I guess it has to be available at Guitar Center, because first thing I say is a 64-track analog board, something like that.
They got them.
Yeah,
I would love a 64-track or even 128-track analog board. Tascam 2-inch reels. I've recorded.
Oh, damn. You
God,
back with that,
man. You might have to call the headquarters. You might have to call the headquarters.
Yep.
They probably can get you one.
Yep. I would get. I'd probably get an MPCX.
Okay, so let's do the. We could go. You think Guitar Center could get that board CX for him?
Shit, they can get. They sell solid state Logic boards. You know what I'm saying? That Guitar Center is some of them,
right.
But a Tascam one, I doubt that because they don't make Tascam boards like that.
So you can't get a Tascam.
He can get a Soundcraft one.
Okay, I go with the Soundcraft. Yeah, I'd record analog, man. If I could go back to it.
What's a blue book on that?
How many inputs?
I'm talking about 100, maybe 128 tracks.
God damn, man, you ready to kill the budget, man? God damn. No, man, your budget is done.
We're done.
I'll go 64 tracks.
That was the quickest thing.
I'll go 64.
Man, you might even have most of your budget probably be gone with that too.
Right, you might be having.
So that's gonna be like at least $8,000.
Yeah, you may have enough for a candy bar afterwards. Maybe.
Yeah. But that would be. But I wouldn't want much else. Probably like a nice computer stand, desk thing. You know, I could upgrade this one and then maybe like an X or something. But I got most of the stuff I would.
You get that? You be lucky if you have a milk crate to put that in.
All right, in that case, dang, that'd be the main thing I want to do is go analog board. All right, if not that, then I get an X.
All right, that's what's that? $2,000?
Definitely an X.
18.
I'll do a I wouldn't mind a motif. I don't know if you sell those anymore.
Well, they got the montages now.
Montage, yeah. I mean, those are nice. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting like more keyboard capability. I probably upgrade my monitors, get some M audios, top of line M audios. These Resolves are cool, but I mean Samsons are cool, but I'd upgrade that.
They got them new M audios for like the 8 for like $150 a piece. All right, so you got some M audios. What else you got? I got
the top of the line.
All right, so let's.
You get the you got the board. Hold on. You got the X. You got the montage. The montage probably be like close to $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Or $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Got those. Let's see what else from Guitar Center. I would go with. I'd probably get I wouldn't mind getting some. Well, I don't know if I need turntable because maybe upgrade my turntables. Let me see what I want to get.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, man.
You get some 1200s, man.
I probably would go with some. Maybe get some vintage. Maybe get some 12s. Yep. Or mine some 12s. But these got some miles on them, so they're gonna go soon.
How much are those? Oh, I got two.
Shit, about 8 or 9 a piece.
Okay.
Some 12s. Okay. Wow.
Are you at 62?
They don't make them no more. They
Oh,
don't
You
really
have to
make them.
find.
What what are they called now? They got another number, like 12 something. 12
Yeah, MK12 something like
MK12
that.
MK1210s or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so they say about 6 a piece.
I get a
6 or
set of
7 a
those
piece.
MK1210s. Yeah, that's right. They made the new ones.
8, 9 a piece, you said? So something.
No, about 6 or 7.
1,000?
Yeah.
So, no, 100.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So you need a mixer with that. What mixer you going with?
5,000.
Don't say that Rain one.
Oh,
I got
man.
I got a new mixer though. They got that Pioneer DJ joint, so that's cool.
Oh, that's about 1,000 right there, ain't it?
It was more than that.
Yeah. He already got that.
That was a gift.
Going for no new marks.
No way.
All right, so we have $5,500 before.
Holy.
So you got.
Now I'm looking around. What else I want to update up in this joint? Let's see. Man, that's a good question. I don't know. I want to be really big once, but since I'm buying maybe another sampling keyboard. Let me see what I want.
Huh?
New Phantom out.
Oh, that's gonna bust him up, man.
Yeah,
That's gonna be the end, man. That's gonna be the end of the budget.
Might have him for the stand.
I know what I'll do. I need a new audio.
That's gonna bust him up.
Let me get a 24 track interface. There we go.
24 track interface.
Maybe I'll do a ZR24 or something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, I do want to upgrade my a ZR24. I want to upgrade my interface. More tracking, definitely. I plan to do that anyway, so good. How's that running though? What's that running now?
What you say, ZR? That's a Zoom.
Oh, the Zoom
24,
joint.
yeah.
Oh, $600.
Is that the tan one?
Yeah, tan one's got. Yep.
Yeah. That works to the interface too, right?
Mm-hmm. All right,
Okay.
4,900.
Okay, I'll probably upgrade Logic, get the current version of Logic. Might as well.
Upgrade.
About 500-600.
Yeah, I'm still on 9, man. So I'll get the latest.
All right, 4,300.
Oh wow. Okay, I still got money, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else I want to get. Should I go record shopping?
They got records in there.
Records in there. You don't want to buy them. You come out there with some Chronic 2000 and
Right.
Chronic and stuff like that.
All right, I'll get a new iMac 27. There we go.
Guitar Center?
I don't think
They don't sell.
I don't think
They got the Mac Minis, maybe.
they sell Mac Minis.
I'm thinking about Sam Mad. They sell computers. Yeah, let me get all that stuff in there. Let me see what else do I want. Let's see, equipment wise. Hey, I'll upgrade. I'll get another drum set. Let me get a set of 5-piece DW. No, in fact, no. I'll get a 12-piece DW. There you go. I'll also get another set since I got money to spend. Give me another drum set.
How much of those?
6. Oh shit.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. 12.
The lowest I got at Sweetwater, you can get it set for $3,600.
Yep.
God,
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's a lot.
man, you better get some V drums and call it quits, man.
Yeah,
Dang,
$700 left.
Dang, I probably should put some of that back. Like I say, I probably want to mic a few mics for the mic in my drums. There you go, record.
Okay, so
The mic set up.
Drum mics.
It's, kind of some run of the mill drum micing.
300, 400.
They probably sell them in sets, like what? 8 a set.
Yeah, something like that. That'll work. Mic my drums up for tracking. Which I need to do that too. Which is why I need another interface.
You get the Shure PGA's drum kit mics for $299.
Yeah, see.
All right, so that gives you $299. You got
Now let me just give you some advice, right? What we could have did was, and I don't usually get this advice out. What you could have did was you could have got that Behringer X mixer, the digital one. They got all them. You got at least 64 channels, or you can add more channels to it.
Wow.
The digital one, and that could have been your interface and your mixer, and it's digital as well. So it'll save all your scenes and all your settings.
Yeah, because I just opted out of getting the board all together. Like I just get another interface and record in Logic.
That Behringer jump would have been the one all be all.
That's that black one that kind of look like the digital joint, kind of like.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to talk about.
You know what I'm talking
That'd
about.
took care of a lot of. You could have saved the set. That's right. Well, this is the most intricate $10,000 challenge. You was about to end it all in one purchase. You had to put some cash to it.
I was gonna go analog.
Man, he looking for one of them. I can't say a solid state. He looking for the board, the house mixer in the back. You know what I'm saying?
If I won the lottery, I would buy something like that. I would have an analog setup. But that sound, man, that sound is amazing. I mean, that's a great sound.
I know, but man, you're gonna need two people at the desk with you, man.
You get an engineer come with that.
Yep.
Pay an engineer.
Look, man, I need you. Hey, man, mute channel 1, man. Be a little bottom on pause on channel 1, man. There, 59, man.
You're lying. You're right. That's a lot of tracks.
Man,
I still love that sound though.
Hey, so Big Stacks, man. Tell us what do you got? Projects, past projects, and future projects. What you got going on, man? Tell the people that.
Okay, past projects I did. 17. I did. Balance of Power with my man Nighttime. That was like
shout out to Nighttime.
Yeah,
right. We did shout out to Nighttime.
Back in the mid 2000s, I put it out. Last year, I put out Never Favorite, my solo joint. Bucket list item is trying to put out some stuff. You know, always want to try it. So that's out there right now on Bandcamp. We're doing a follow-up album, me and Nighttime, working on music for that for maybe sometime next year. And then probably later in the year, and then I'm probably gonna follow up Never Favorite after that, probably, and then
that's my jump.
Yeah.
That's next. So we'll work on that, and then maybe I'm thinking about an R&B project too at some point. I don't know when though. So I gotta do the production for that.
Stacks, let me just ask you this one question, man. You know, I always told Wild about it. I said I always love Stacks mixes. You and Clark's as well. You play drums. Why you don't never play drums to your beats?
Oh, I have. I've sampled my beats before, but I never.
Okay.
Yeah, I've sampled them. I've done that. Yeah, but I guess because I want different sounds. Because the thing about just play the drums, I'll have those same sounds. Versus if I sample and chop up drums, I'll have different. I like to make the drums fit the track. So
I know.
Yeah, I'm one of those cats that I never use the same drums on the same album.
But what about playing hi-hats? Just, you know what I'm saying? Just playing hi-hats to your own, you know what I'm saying?
I've done that
before.
That
makes a difference too. Yeah.
I did that on a demo before. Funny you say it. I played hi-hats because I sampled Papa Was 2, and Papa Was 2 didn't have any hi-hats, so I played them in the studio. It's funny. Yeah, wow. Funny you say that. Yep. Triggered 808 basses by hand in one of those studios. You couldn't sequence it for some reason. I just played it all over the track.
Right.
Played tambourine on a track for me. So I've done that over the years. So yeah,
I'm gonna get some congos.
Play live, music over the track. It's cool.
It's dope, man. What's your social media handle, man? So people want to check you out, man. How can we check you out, man?
On Instagram, my handles are producer Big Stacks. On Twitter is producer STA1. I have a YouTube channel, producer on this Big Stacks as well, and I'm on Bandcamp as producer Big Stacks. So go check out the projects up there. I got music. I've got some features coming out too. I've actually had some vocal features. A couple. I have one. Check out my dudes, King Mad One and Ruler Y got an album out. Eternity's Children. Eternity. What's the name of it? I got the right name. But just look up King Mad One on Bandcamp, and I got a feature on there called Can't Be Done, and then I got another feature coming out. It's untitled, but is some lyrics on with Cut Beatles album. DJs out of I think they're out of either Sweden or Finland somewhere.
Oh,
damn! Stacks International. He mad at you, man.
Yeah, that was surprising, but I think one of the DJs bought the album. Like, hey, we want you got a music project coming out. We want get you on there. Like,
it's brothers like you, man, and you guys that keep this true school stuff going. And just from your works, your talent, and everything else combined, man, just keeps us going. Fellas, guys like you that put in the work with not just the street grind, if you will, but also with your skill set. So if it wasn't for guys like you guys, we we wouldn't hear anything. We'd just be hearing stuff we wasn't accustomed to, or to hear it evolve is also a beautiful thing as well, man. But definitely a big fan of what you do, man.
Me too.
Definitely, you definitely represent, represent what it is, the true school, bro. So
well, that's the other thing about it too is the thought about legacy when you do music, man. Oh, it's Eternity Sequels by King Mad One. There you go. I was going look at my files, and also check out my man Halfbreed. I did a scratch intro for them that's coming out. I think it's coming out next month.
Oh,
yeah.
People
out of California.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Stacks also, he does a dual DJ thing too. I heard some cuts from you too. So he's also a force to be reckoned with on them wheels too.
Yep.
So,
but I think we need to think more about legacy when we're making music, man. We're dead and gone, man. We'd hope that music would represent us well, man. And I'm worried about this generation and what's going to be said about what they left behind, man. You don't want stuff that's scoffed at. You want stuff that's revered, and like we did with the pioneers we listened to. So that's a big part of how I approach music, is that it's a piece of my legacy. My name's on it, and I want to represent me in the best light possible when I can no longer, be here to defend myself.
Right.
Yeah, like that was some garbage, right? So I'm gone. Hopefully, people, that was some good work.
Right. That's a good point, man. Because a lot of stuff, usually, you'd be able to rock out a song for a few, and even like Never Favorite, I could rock that for the next 20 years. That's what you're supposed to look for when you do a project. To be able to, not, it doesn't have an expiration date on it.
Right, not that disposable stuff that people are laughing at you for doing it when you're 20 years older. Like, why'd you do that silly stuff? I don't think people are gonna be revering Laffy Taffy in 20 years, man.
Hey, there you go. You said it.
Yeah, they're gonna scoff at you, man. Like, you did that crap.
All right.
I would hope none of my music it invokes that response. Like, oh, you done some crap, man. What we thinking?
We could do Laffy Taffy all day. I mean, we can get off this the interview and go ahead and make something like that and put it out probably in the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
Shit, next 15
minutes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, try to mix it down, whatever, upload it somewhere. But yeah.
Gotta make music I'm proud of, man. I have to, or I can't do it.
Right.
Can't do it.
CX.
I say this. We appreciate you, Stacks. Always there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad I met you, brother.
No doubt.
I always I revere my friends, and I keep them close to me. And you always one that I consider a friend. And not that everybody else isn't, but I'm just saying you are in that league with them as well. And we appreciate you, brother, for real.
No doubt. All you do, man.
Feelings mutual, man. Y'all some great artists, man. I mean, y'all. In fact, I tell you what, y'all inspire me. I mean, my inspiration actually comes from the crew. I really thank you guys for that, man. You guys made me do projects to begin with. Like, man, I could do this myself. You guys are a big part of Never Favored and even Balance of Power. I would have never done that without y'all influence. Just put your own stuff out. Like, cool. And you guys are dope, so you make me want to raise the bar on my own material. I always joke you guys with about that, but your music inspires me to want to be better. So I thank you guys for being there and filling that void, because the popular music's not doing it. It doesn't inspire me at all.
Nah, and then also too, we're not the young cats, or the young cats like we used to be, where we used to be around a bunch of different people of our age group.
Yep.
Musically, in a sense, we're older now with families and this, that, and other. So we're kind of like isolated by ourselves. So this is how we be around people to inspire us to, you know what I'm saying? It's like y'all in my house, I'm in your house right now. That's how that makes us make music. You know what I'm saying? Because it's lonely doing it by yourself sometimes.
Right. Big time.
That shit really helps. I mean, not a lot of people are doing as far as, people being like-minded, people being together in one set, man, and people vibing off everyone is still sharpening steel. That's a very good advantage to have, especially when you're in the. I mean, it's not like I'm sitting here, now like I used to, and making stuff and just sitting on my hard drive. Now you're taking it, trying to do something with it, or you can put it on Facebook or IG or whatever, man. It's just a lot more you can do with your talents, man, instead of just more of a not a. To me, people are like hobbyists and stuff. Hey, man, a guy has all this MIDI stuff and he just in his own world, and now he's able to open his doors now and get with like-minded people because of the technology. To bring, like CX said, man, bring people more. This technology has brought people more closer. We're talking right now on the Hangout app, and you're in Philly, CX is in the DC area, and I'm down here in Florida. So we're in one setting here. So,
right.
That's a good thing of it. Yep.
Well, that was it, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that will do it for this episode of the Master Channel Podcast with our brother Big Stacks. Be sure to check him out on all social media outlets. Once again, I am DJ Wide Body.
I am CS the producer.
And this was the Master Channel Podcast, where we discuss the ins and outs of the hip-hop culture, both theoretically and technically. Until next time, this is DJ Wide Body for Big Stacks and CX the producer saying peace.
Peace.